are driven by the finer things. I see more than materials and wealth. What have you got to give to me? What I don't already give myself. You are driven by the...
To a brand new episode of Illuminated Disclaimer. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a wonderful day so far, wherever you are in the world. And I hope that you're finding ways to illuminate your own path. Today I wanted to talk more about organizational skills. Now, I like talking about things that are metaphysical. I like talking about ways that you can improve your health and well-being, and I talk about manifestation as well. I also talk about the professional side at times. Now, in my past, I was a job coach, I was a tutor, I'm still a tutor, but I'm teaching something else, and I've had several years of accountancy and schools finance experience behind me. And I thought to myself, how can I incorporate what I've learned in those jobs to what I do in everyday life to make sure that I am living more balanced and I have a perfect work-life balance. Now for me, it's just the power of organization, just making sure that everything is in its right place and everything is seen in a way which I understand it immediately before I even read what I'm doing. Now, one way I do this is, quite frankly, I use Google Calendar. Now, with Google Calendar, quite straightforward. You can put all your things in one easy to find place. Now, you don't have to necessarily use Google Calendar, but having a calendar in itself, absolutely amazing. One benefit to having Google Calendar is you can color coordinate each thing. So if you've got different jobs or different to-do lists which go to different parts of your life, then you could do that blue, for example. You have social settings, that's red, job could be green, and you can color coordinate it. So before you even go on your phone, you'll see the colors and you have a good idea of what you're doing before you do it. Now, this helped me massively because there was a stage in my life where I had 3 jobs and I still had different opportunities around those jobs. To me, I don't really have a day off, I would say. I would say Sunday's my day off, but I'm usually busy on Sunday. Doing admin, being with family, so I need and I depend on having a calendar of some sort in my life just to make sure that I'm in tune. If I'm worrying about what I'm doing tomorrow, then that's power that's taken from me and detracted from me from actually focusing on my goals and targets. The second thing I want to talk about is just your home. Like, if you go into your room, can you say without a doubt that your room's clean? Can you say that everything's organized in its right place? That's it. In the past, I used to come into this house. You used to see that there was clothes everywhere, there was mess everywhere, there was dust everywhere. And instead of trying to clean it up, I just said, I'm just going to bed. It's just too much stuff. There's just too much going on. I just can't stomach it. And I go to bed. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And one day I just had this room. It used to be my brother's room once upon a time. And this room was even worse. Holes in the ceiling, paint, mildew. Like, the room was not used for years and it was just dust everywhere. You go into there, you're coughing instantly from all the spores. I said to myself, if I want to get to the next level in my career and get to that goal of being fully self-employed, I need to clean up this room. And thoughts became habits. I just made sure that I kept that thought in my mind. And one day I just had this energy. I just woke up and I was like, that's it, game day. Bought some white paint, bought a white paintbrush, painted, got rid of the mildew, got rid of all the additional things that I've acquired in this room over the last 4 or 5 years. Open up the window, let all the dust out. It took a while, but the funniest thing is, as soon as I cleaned up the room so it was at an acceptable level, that's when I started getting opportunities. That's when I started realizing that I could work from home, and people were saying, you don't have to travel no more, you can work from home. Oh, we can give you a class for teaching maths, but you can do this at home if you want. Before, I didn't get that, but until I put an organization into my mind, the opportunities start running in. Now it's at a point where I would say that half of my working time is actually at home. Not that it's the best case of action, but there is a lot of benefits to working from home. You're in the comfort of your own house, you don't have to travel much, you still have conversations with people. And although I want to be face to face with people, I said to myself, I want to do less traveling, save more money, save more time, and get better work-life balance by balancing what I'm doing by going out and speaking to people in person and being at home. And this happened because I talked myself into having this habit of just cleaning up and having this organization. And me having my own space is good organization. I could have just cleaned up my room and organized that. But I wanted my organization to be more. And as a result, I found a space, I made my own space. And it was just the habit of getting that organization within me. Once I had that space, then my room was completely clean a couple of weeks later as well. I made sure that there was more spaces for me to work, so I don't have to work in one room. But once you have this organization, your mind just goes and changes completely into a state where you start seeing things from a more clear, you have more clarity. That's your state of mind now. And once you do that, you'll start to attract people and jobs who can give you that same thing in abundance. Another thing with having more organization with your life is the finance department. A lot of us get money, spend money. We don't really budget. Budget is a good form of organization, and as an accountant, we had to learn how to budget. We had to learn how to do Excel spreadsheets, and I realized I've created my own spreadsheets, calculated how much I make every month, calculated my outgoings, and then I saw how much money I would have left after all my outgoings. Then I split into 3 sections, how much money I'll have per week, per day, and per hour. So I said to myself, okay, if I don't buy any lunch today, then that justifies me buying a better lunch the next day. Or if I don't buy lunch today, then that money automatically goes into savings. Once you budget yourself and you don't spend all the money you need to, that money goes into savings, and automatically, completely unaware, you have a savings account. Now imagine this. A year from now, you can go to a nice country in Europe. You can go to Portugal. You can get something that's self-employed. No, not self-employed, what am I about? You can get an all-inclusive in Portugal. And that could be about maybe £700, yeah, for a week. Now, if you do the right budgeting, there's a strong chance that most of you watching this video can make it happen. In the space of a year is 52 weeks, yeah? So if you can save maybe 10 or 15 pounds a week, if you could save 15 pounds a week, then you could do that. £700 is a lot of money. You can go all-inclusive in Portugal for half that. I went to Portugal for £30 return. With a hotel, it was £150, and that was basically like for a week. So you could save 5 for a week, £10 a week, and then at the end of the year, treat yourself for a holiday. Go during Christmas when there's no sun and it's freezing. Just go to a warm country. But once you get the organization when it comes to your finances, you have more control of what you have and what you can spend and what you can save, and then what you can use at a later date. And that's something that's not really taught in most of our education systems, the power of understanding the money that we have. Most of us, I'll say more than 90% of us, even myself included, if I get a lump sum of millions of pounds if I win the lottery, there's a strong chance that money is going in the next couple of months. I'm just going to spend it on ridiculous things that I don't necessarily need. But due to the act of budgeting, now I'm actually at a stage where I'm like, if I get this money, a certain percentage of this money is going to go into investments. A certain percent of this money is going to go into savings. A certain amount of this money will go into my will or investment for later generations. But once you have that understanding within yourself to do that, then you'll understand that if you do get a large lump sum, you don't need all those things that you necessarily would need. You don't necessarily need a brand new car. You can get a car that's 3 years old, and for a lot of cars, it's half the price. BMW, brand new car, you can get 35 grand. But 3 years with about 50,000 miles, it will effectively be half that. So you saved half your money. You could be saving up for something. A good rule of thumb is you save this much money, and this is how much money you would need, but you save double that. So once you buy what you need to buy, you still have that money back. And it's just getting into these little habits. I'll be talking more about money saving habits in another episode. And I think the last thing I wanted to say when it came to organization is just making sure that you divide your time, get that right balance. You need a balance, you need a duality. You need the perfect sleep to work to life balance. Now, you could say about 8 hours can go towards sleep, 8 hours can go towards work, and 8 hours can go towards living your lifestyle. But it's wholly dependent on what you want out of life. If you don't mind working a 9 to 5 job Monday to Friday, that's perfectly fine with you. But some people have found ways not only to increase their money and their skill set, but to actually do the skills that they're learning in their job, do it for themselves, and eliminate the glass ceiling. So it depends what you want. But this is where organization comes in. I always say to someone, get a pen, get paper, and just actually truly write what you want out of life. For example, I've got a whiteboard out there, £15, and every month I just update it with something new. I literally write a blueprint down. I've got 4 pillars that I want to maximize on to make sure that my business is hugely successful, and I intend to go through with that. It's going very well at the moment, actually. I'm really, really grateful for that. And because I have a whiteboard, I can take a picture of it, I can wrap it out, I can add new things. And to be honest with you, in future episodes, I'll be using a whiteboard more to describe some of these things that I'm speaking about. But the most important thing is making sure that you have something that's there with you first thing when you wake up in the morning, just to realign yourself. Because a lot of us, we're groggy. A lot of us go to their phones. A lot of us might eat something and we might forget what we truly want in this life. But the thing is, the more you focus on something, the more it becomes a habit. And the more it becomes a habit, the more natural it feels for you to do it. So get yourself a whiteboard. Get yourself a piece of paper. Write things down. Truly own in on what you want to do and write in an organized way. So wherever you see it, you know what exactly was going on. Okay, that's another episode of Illuminated DiiSCLAIMER. In Sydney. And yeah, I think this has been a really good episode. I want to talk more about finances because 7 years ago, no, sorry, not 7 years ago, over a period of 7 years, I was an accountant. And I learned a lot of things. It was mainly schools, finances. And because it was schools, finances, I was the dedicated person who did the finances. So I saw a lot. I saw a lot about budgeting. I saw a lot about how much budget is given to each department and what each department typically spends their money on. So I have seen it more in a sense where I can actually digest it and say it to you in manageable chunks. So I want to talk more about the best ways to spend money, the best ways to save money, the best ways to find a job which can enable you to have that money in the first place, and even do skills and get qualifications for you to get money on the side. For example, I am a maths tutor. Maths tutors could charge £30 to £40 an hour. A maths tutor usually teaches one person at a time. All you need is a £500 qualification in order to get the experience in order to be a tutor. Once you have the qualification, a lot of places will take you on to becoming a tutor. Now, if you're a teacher, you go to university for 3, maybe even 4 years. And if you look at the price comparisons, you get probably the same as a tutor. In some cases, even less, because if you're a tutor and you're private, you can charge whatever you want. But as a teacher, you'll be getting around the same as tutors, but you've done a 4-year course and you're teaching classes of up to 30 where tutors just teaching one person for the same amount of money. Now, this is something that is interesting because you can use your skills and find qualifications online which can give you the same benefits as if you're going to university. I'm not saying anything bad about university, but this is something that worked for me and something that can work for you as well. But I want to spend more time in the future talking about just the different ways where you can maximize your time and your money and your potential, and therefore your work-life balance becomes a bit more like that, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, until the next episode, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And please keep on finding ways to illuminate your own world. Take care now. Bye-bye now.